Hello everybody, I'm Lewis and this is the free play tutorial for 3-1 Jokes Home Turf. Jokes Home Turf recently got a pretty important change. We used to do a Mad Hatter clip there, as Senior explained in his basic technique video, but I actually found out that the Penguin Minion's hitbox allows us to hit the trigger without doing any weird Mad Hatter stuff. So let's get started. Important for this level is that you enter the level as Robin and select Penguin Minion as Robin. The reason behind that is that if you select Penguin Minion as player 1 and player 2 as Batman, the character wheel works out pretty nice that it's actually Penguin Minion and then Batman with all his suits. And considering we have to SSJ a couple of times, it works out really nicely to have Batman as close to the Penguin Minion as possible. So let's get started and let's take a look at the first room. So if you take a look at the first room, here would be the starting position. And if I go over here, you can see the end point or where the trigger is. And here's all the toxic waste stuff and the goo. And you can see if I turn everything else off, this here is the trigger that leads to the second room. And as you also can see, this trigger extends above the actual visual gate. So if you can hit it from above, that's fair game. Turns out that the Penguin Minion's hitbox is actually smaller and it's not short, it's shorter. And the shorter hitbox actually allows us to hit this transition. And what you're gonna do is we're gonna SJ on top of this gate and hit it with the Penguin Minion. In game it looks something like this. So as soon as you start this level you want to switch to Batman and then it's 2 switches to the right to get to the glide suit. Then you can just SJ all the way to the end of this room. And from here you want to hug this wall so the camera changes. And you can't SJ right around here, so you want to take a step back. And then you want to SJ up. And then while you're falling down, you want to switch to Penguin Minion, which should be 3 switches to the left all the time. And you want to hit the top of the gate close to the front side, but still being out of bounds. So if everything is done correct, it looks like this. And you trigger the next room. If you're going for Mad Hatter clips, you want to have Mad Hatter as player 2. It would also work with Harlequin or Kill 'em Off. So you want to have one of both players, preferably player 2 as Mad Hatter, and the other player needs to be a toxic character. I use Poison Ivy here. So you're going to drop down here and drop down with both players. What you're going to do next is you're standing in this puddle I'm standing right now with Poison Ivy, and you're walking in this puddle with Mad Hatter, and you start shooting. As you can see, he doesn't die. So now we want to push Mad Hatter with player 1 into the door. Preferably right around here. I have the most success. So this can take a while, it's not as easy as it might look. Because he can also pop back in bounds. If you don't want to go for the Penguin Minion tag, what you also can do is fly over here and then drop in P2. Switch to a poison character. Let P2 fall down. With the box, then you glide over and build this. Then you can glide over here and hit both triggers at the same time, or both levers. That will be a method, and you can also go for the Mad Hatter clips if you really want to, which is the hardest method, and the Penguin Minion would be faster even than Mad Hatter clips. Okay, so let's show off room 2. So if you take a look at room 2, we can actually see it's a big like J shape or like a mirrored L, and obviously it would be slow to walk all the way up here or like forward then turn and go here. So we're actually gonna cut this whole room diagonally. So you're gonna start right around here, walk, glide all the way over here and go out of bounds here. And once you're really out of bounds and don't have solid ground underneath you, you can't SJ anymore. So you want to gain enough height, this short distance here. Then you're gonna start E-gliding all the way to over here. And once you're close to the toxic waste again, you could SJ again if you're too low. Most of the time you should be high enough anyway, but it's a possibility. And then you're gonna go directly inside this trigger. Pretty straightforward room. In-game looks like this. So if you're going for the penguin minion strat, you don't have to drop out here, obviously. If you're going for Mad Hatter clips or the 1P2C, you have to drop out first. That's another benefit of the penguin minion strat, you don't have to do a dropout. Then, like I said, you're gonna cut this corner diagonally, or this room. You can use the studs in the background to align yourself so you know where to go, more or less. And now I can SJ again. So I'm gonna do 2 SJs to get a little bit of extra height. And then you actually wanna glide behind them and start gliding here, because they can give you a damage boost. And that's room 2, pretty easy room. So let's take a look at room 3, one of the harder rooms. So this is room 3. Left side would be the red brick area, here is the starting point. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this corner here over the pipes and glide past the wave of enemy here. If you just glide, you can get a damage boost here, which is pretty nice. You glide over here and you actually want to stand on top of here for a brief amount. Here will be the turnstile. You're doing that because if you SJ all the way over here and you fall down here, you would respawn all the way at the beginning. So it's good to quickly stand here to reset your spawn position. And why, you might ask, why would you fall down here? It's like super easy. The reason is this box here. This box you can see here is the trigger for the boss fight. And as soon as you activate the trigger, you just fall down. So what we're actually going to do is we're standing here for a brief amount. It's just touching there. And we glide over and we try to trigger the boss fight right around here. So if you fall down, or when we fall down, we actually land inside this garage thing here so that we don't die. And once we're inside of here and trigger the boss fight, we're actually going for the out of bounds trigger. The out of bounds trigger is located right here. It's this weird looking thing here. And you can see it's really small. So it's really hard to hit. There is a setup. There are multiple setups actually. So on this ledge here, it's kind of hard to see. Here you can see the difference here. You can actually stand, you can also see there are like 2 walls meeting here. You can actually stand on this ledge. And it turns out that you can just either SSJ into it or double jump into it. And in game it looks something like this. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna cut this corner, glide past here to get some damage boosts. And you see all my respawn point would be all the way at the beginning still. So I'm gonna land here real quick, then go up again. And you can see now it just fell down. And I heard I landed in the garage thing. And now I'm gonna... You could try and hit that of bounds trigger right away from here. I'm gonna do the setup I mentioned earlier. So I'm trying to land on this ledge here. And you can now either SSJ into the trigger. It's a little bit just straight up. It would be right around here, more or less. Back here. I'm gonna show off the double jump setup. So I'm going to use a double jumper and just pick whatever you want. You can also do this with SJ like I said. If you're not going for the end level trigger, obviously you have to do the room a little bit different. The beginning is the same, so you go all the way to the right side of course. And you also start or set the respawn point on top where the turnstile is. But you're not going trying to land the little hallway. You want to SJ really high up, so you can fall directly into the boss arena. And from here you're gonna spam the drop in button so player 2 joins you because you need him for the final fight. And while player 2 is dropping in, you're gonna hit Mad Hatter 2 times. His iframes are really short, so you can kinda spam it. And you're gonna change off of Penguin Minion, since he's always Penguin Minion here, because you never change him. And you're gonna fly up and push Mad Hatter into the toxic waste. And you position both players in the middle. And then you're gonna hit Mad Hatter once with player 1 and once with player 2. And here you can either drop out or do the rest of the room with one player only. I'm gonna drop out here since it's a little bit easy to show off. And you're flying to this button here, you don't need to build the elevator. And you're gonna change to Penguin, and Penguin Bomb actually activates the second button, and you can drop down early here and do the final hit super quick. That's everything for 3-1 Joker's Home Turf. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us in the LEGO Speedrun Discord. I wish you good luck and see you soon on the leaderboards.